Good morning, traders. Richard Jen and quick Ichimoku Cloud Chart market review of Bitcoin. In the last update, we were looking at the lagging line here, and that was the catalyst to look out for. Is the lagging line going to rebound from the bottom end cloud support, or is it going to slice through? And in this case, our worst fears have realized here that it's sliced through this cloud chart support zone, so that once again confirms the bearish outlook on the Ichimoku Cloud. Now, it's the support level of 73 did not hold. The next downside targets for support to be tested is 60,582 and then 49,265. Now, what I'm worried about is that we might have a downward continuation pattern forming here, where we had this move, a little bit of a rebound, and then this move down, and that would end up in and around the 60, low 60s and late high 50s. So watch out for these two downside risk targets on the weekly Ichimoku Cloud. On the daily, we can see where the next level of support targets are. It comes from these old cloud chart support levels, as well as these old highs there, as well as the top end of the cloud there. So watch out for these levels to be tested for support in Bitcoin on the daily Ichimoku Cloud. At some point, we'll get a mean reversion situation where the gap between the bottom end of the cloud and the price action is just too wide. Then we get mean reversion similar to something like this, where we come back or get back to the cloud support, something similar to this. But there's still downside risk to below the 60s here, as we've highlighted the 49 downside target. If we look at this, could be another downward continuation pattern, down move, consolidation, another down move, which will bring us right here at the bottom end of the downside targets that we have now seen on the weekly Ichimoku Cloud. On the 4 hour, let's take a look at the 4 hour Ichimoku Cloud. A steady downtrend. You can see the cloud. We had another resistance test here where we failed to break through the cloud, so still going strong to the downside here. Once again, also watch out when it gets too far extended from the bottom in the cloud. We'll get a mean reversion back down to that zone, but keep a close eye on the interaction of Bitcoin in and around those weekly targets. Let's just load the weekly once again. Back to the weekly, you can see these downside risk targets are quickly popped on a kind of like a downward continuation pattern, so we could see Bitcoin digging into these old highs, looking for support there, as well as this cloud chart zone and the bottom in the cloud there. So watch very closely for 60,050 and 49,000 as the downside risk targets if support fails to come in at these old highs. Until next time, happy cloud chart trading. Bye for now.